In this video, I'm going to show you how you can take an old school camcorder like this and mod it to record directly to an SD card to produce authentic analog footage like this with the modern ease of digital video. First, let's start with why you might want to do this. Now, this concept is not anything new. There's plenty of videos on YouTube right now explaining how you can do this and the parts that you'll need to do this. Camcorder footage like this is becoming increasingly popular for the vintage style look. You could easily emulate something like this with filters, but a lot of times those won't give accurate results to what a vintage camcorder might actually look like. The first thing you're going to need is the camcorder itself. And this part of the process you get to have a bit of fun with because you get to go find a camcorder that works for you. I found this camcorder for $25 at a thrift store, and it works perfectly for this application. The camcorder that I got is the Panasonic Palmcorder PVD426. This model came out in 1996 and would have been a pretty high-end consumer camera back in its day. A big marketing point for this specific camera is the flip-out color EVF, which is your only source of monitoring your video footage, which is honestly kind of a downside of this camera. We're used to camcorders like this having a flip-out screen on the other side. Unfortunately, with this one, that is not the case. Instead, you hit this switch right here and out pops a door where you will put your tapes. This camera records on analog tapes like this one right here. Now, if you're around my age, you'll probably be familiar with this because I bet a lot of your childhood memories were recorded onto this. This tape cartridge would give you roughly 30 minutes of footage. Contrary to what we would have done 30 years ago with recording onto tape, the standard of digital video now is pretty much SD cards. This is the device that allows us to capture the quality of an old school camcorder like this, but with the ease of recording directly onto an SD card. But before we talk about this, let's talk about what you need to look out for in your camcorder. What I'd recommend doing is go to your thrift store, see what old cameras you can find, and find one that sticks out to you. I fell in love with this camera for a couple of different reasons. I love the design of it. It's cute. It's got this light on the front, which I think is so cool. It has a 16x optical zoom with your zoom rocker on top, allowing for easy access. I love holding it. I just think it is so much fun, and having the EVF makes it feel so intentional with what you're recording. When I put this up to my eye, I see exactly what my framing is, and it feels substantial. That's part of the thing that I like about it. When you're searching for your camera, you want to look out for this. This is the AV port, and this is crucial to actually getting this to work. This specific AV port is an 1/8 inch, but there are different ones, but it'll still work. You'll just have to get the right adapter for it. We'll talk about that in a second. Once you get your camera and you know that it has an AV port, it's important that you make sure that you can monitor out through the AV port while recording. Some cameras don't do it, but most do. This one does. It can be a bit of a trial and error, but you can also try and look up the user manual and usually it'll tell you. I got lucky and this one came with the original user manual, so I knew it would work. So let's talk about the next thing that you're going to need. This is the Ion Video 2 SD. Now, I'd like to start off with saying you do not have to get this specific one. All this is an external recorder that takes AV composite cables and records directly to an SD card. I purchased this one for about 30 bucks off eBay, and it came with a package with an SD card and all the cables that I need to get this started. So in total, I've got about $60 into this kit. The next thing you're gonna need is your composite cables. You've probably seen these on an old TV. So what you have to do is plug the 1/8 inch connector into the AV out of your camcorder, and then plug your colored composite cables into the corresponding one on the Ion Video 2 SD. Like I said, you can get different ones other than this, although this is a popular choice and they generally all kind of work the same. So now that I have my connections plugged in, we only need one more thing, and that is power. For that, I'm just using an NP-F battery, but you could use a portable charger or whatever you have, just something with a USB-A output on it. So the next thing you're going to run into is how to rig all of this, because carrying this around is not the most practical. This is kind of an unfortunate part of doing old school camcorders like this. They're not really made to be rigged out like modern cameras are. The only mounting point that is on this camera is a single 1/4-20 on the bottom of the camera. Technically, if you wanted to, you could do something like take a cheese plate and rig it out that way. What I've opted to do is just to use Velcro instead. If you choose the Velcro route, it'll be dependent upon what camera you have and how you do it. What I've opted to do is to put the external recorder at the back of the camera like this, and then put the battery on the bottom like so. That kind of keeps the center of gravity close to the back and easier to actually handle. Once you have this kit set up, you're ready to start actually recording with it. It's important to remember, none of the recording is done on the camera itself. Like we said, this is an external recorder. What that means is you'll have to hit the record button on your external recorder when you want to record a clip. This can be a little bit confusing at first, but it's not that big of a deal. So there are a couple downsides with this, of course. Let's talk about those real quick. First of all, worth noting, this specific external recorder, the Ion Video 2 SD, records to AVI files. AVI files are not commonly used in modern editors, but this isn't that big of a deal because you can easily find free conversions on the internet to convert those files, although it is another step, which is a bit of a downside, but not that big of a deal. We talked earlier about how you can emulate old school camcorders with modern filters. One of the downsides of actually shooting analog footage like this is that you're getting a lot of the inconvenience of old technology. For example, with this one, I mentioned how your only source of monitoring is through the included EVF, which means you have to constantly walk around like this if you want to see your frame, which is not feasible for everything, and depending on your application, that might be a deal breaker. One option you have, the external recorder does have an HDMI out, which you could put to another monitor, but it all goes back to the issue of actually rigging this out. These cameras aren't made to do this, and so it's a little bit DIY anytime you do it. If you can get past these shortcomings, there's a certain charm in old footage like this. The way I heard it from a different YouTuber is that footage taken on a camcorder like this is just simply more meaningful. In the age of digital photo and video, you can take hundreds of pictures with the supercomputer that everyone has in their pockets, and there's something less meaningful about pictures like that. Going back to analog footage like this, no matter what it is you're shooting, it feels more real. And it all goes back to how these used to be recorded. It used to be that 30 minutes was how long you got to record. That was all. Of course, now we can get past that with something like this, but it still has that old school feel that camcorder footage like this had. And I think that is what's so impactful about it. My main point in this video is to urge you to go out and build one of these on your own if you're wanting to do so. There are many eBay sellers who will build kits like this and they'll charge significantly more than what it's worth. But I think there's something really special about going out to a thrift store, finding a camera like this and saving it and giving it a new life instead of it just becoming e-waste. That is going to be all for this week's video. If you have any suggestions for what you want to see in the future, feel free to drop a comment and I will definitely try my best to make it happen. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. It really does mean a lot, and I'll see you next week.